Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my what solds for last week, Monday through Thursday, which is October 27th through the 30th. Had 2 good days, 2 really good days, and 2 below average days. But since then, it's been pretty amazing. So I'm not even going to complain.
It's all right. You know what I want to talk about today?
What?
Changing shipping in my store
Yes.
and some dang crazy eBay offer stuff going on, y'all.
Yep. Got to be careful.
It kind of goes along. I saw it in my store.
We thought something was just weird.
Show us what we got today.
I had no sales in Etsy, y'all. I'm about to the point again. I know I flip-flop on this so often. I'm ready to just focus on eBay and eBay only. It's just not worth the effort or the time.
Got junk in our trunk. Our friend Rhonda over there, she's killing it on Etsy. So when we say us, it might work perfectly for you. You might have the thing that sells there. She's got stuff over there. Go check out her channel. I think she said every Sunday or so, she drops a video of 10 or 20 things or something. I can't remember how many, but because my memory shot of things that she sold recently. And she's doing really well on Etsy. So if you've got the stuff that does well there, then by all means, go over there and hit it up. Go see what she's selling. She has a lot of books and stuff.
I think she does a lot of ephemera and books and stuff, and that's doing well over there. Vintage plush, yeah, I sell one here, one there. But for the most part, no. We started a new Poshmark and Mercari for Robert's side of the business, and we're stuck at 100 listings on Mercari because, you know, they hold you until you start showing that you're going to be selling stuff, and nothing is selling. So I've sold 0 stuff on his Mercari and 1 thing on Poshmark. And then this week I find out Poshmark has taken away their tools. So you no longer can bulk edit or bulk send offers on Poshmark. I think through your phone. I'm not sure about the desktop. I saw a couple of posts that said people were still able to do it through their desktops. But like the sending offers to likers or trying to bundle likers, I don't do enough of Poshmark to know, but, you know, people are just saying Poshmark has died for them because they're taking away some of the things that people are used to doing. You no longer have the share button or something like that. I don't know. I don't bother with that kind of stuff for our Poshmark, but we sold 1 thing on that one. 1. In, 3 months?
Sure, something like that.
Something 3 or 4 months. So for me personally, I think as of the beginning of the year, I'm not going to cross list anymore. I'll leave what's there, but I'm not going to add to it. I just don't think it's worth it.
It's not, and I'll let y'all know on Tuesday when she changes her mind again.
For the 50th time? I don't know. I'm just, eBay is my primary platform. It always has been for 26 years. It is where we make the most money. And at some point you just gotta say, okay, let's just see how this year goes without anything else. All right, let me go ahead and share with you the things that sold in my eBay store. And then Robert had some. First thing, this sat on a shelf forever, and when we started moving everything over here, I found it. I had bought a bag of mailbox covers and porch banners, the kind you hang, and it's summer, winter, spring, and fall type stuff. And this, I think, was the only one that was sealed, and I finally got it listed and sold for $12.10 plus shipping. All right, Talbot's brown plaid wool skirt sold for $22. Fisher-Price Loving Family Dream furniture and stuff. This was part of a bunch of dollhouse stuff that I found in the bins the last time we were in St. Louis. I've already sold the dolls, a lot of the dolls, for over $100. And I've still got other stuff still listed. I got the sweetest message. Yes, I listed it for 40. But I got a message from a mama who said they have been trying for a year to find that little umbrella that's in this picture, and was just a nice message, you know. And sometimes I go for it. She needed that umbrella for their set, $25. Accept it. Wildlife Artist's little orange snake sold for $13.45. I think today when I did my end and sell similars, I'm finally caught up. I have adjusted all of my prices for older listings. 95% of them are at $9.95 now, just to see how much I can get gone in the next few months. And you know what? My sales have been amazing the last couple of weeks, other than a few dip days. And it just makes me wonder if just messing with the prices is just toggling something in the algorithm. I don't know. But all of a sudden, a lot of the things that I've got listed for $9.95 now, they go on sale. So they're like $8.96. I send an offer and they sell for $8.06. There was a whole bunch of that in here. You know, it's stuff that at this point, I need them gone. They have been in my store for a while. And you know what? $8 on something that I probably have paid less than $1 for. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Make it gone. Get me the space that I need for my, better stuff that I have been procuring over the last year. And I plan to even be more particular next year. We took our friends, Fiona's Finds, Rocket City Resellers. They came to our reseller meetup that was here at the end of, when was that? End of October, end of September. We took them to the Asheville bins, and y'all, it's a long drive. So as soon as we got there, I needed to go potty. So Robert and Amanda took off to go look through the bins. Immediately, she finds the Raymond Briggs snowman in one of the bins, and immediately Robert found this jelly cat, which was kind of funny. What did she say that day?
She said she was glad you had to go to the bathroom because you would have found the Raymond Briggs was like in the very first bin.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, that was hilarious, Amanda. But I didn't realize it at the time. This actually it's a petalkin, so it had a little like flower base to it. Obviously, this was missing, but it still sold probably in like 2-3 weeks for $40. New Wave Precision Induction Cookware. This is the cookware that goes to that thing we use, and I sold it. We could have kept that and used it.
Oh, we could have.
Yeah, we have fallen in love with this New Wave induction cooking eye. It's like one little eye, but we don't have any pans that work on that except our cast iron. That's the only thing that will work on it. And now I just realized, oh yeah, I listed the cookware for it because I had planned on selling it.
Our stove.
Our stove is...
The eyes, the ones in the back seem to work fine, but the ones in the front, mostly just because the way I understand the way electric stoves works, like with the glass tops or whatever, is that it can't adjust the temperature to how much...
Like high, medium,
it's
low.
either on or off.
Right.
It's either on or off. And the way it gets on low is it turns it on and then turns it off. And then it adjusts the temperature by how long it stays on and how long it stays off by adjusting that frequency. Well, ours just pretty much stays on.
Yeah,
there's a thing you can
miss.
buy, and I got one of these days. But
it's a Samsung. Never buying a Samsung again. Never.
We've had bad luck.
Very bad luck with everything we've bought. Samsung. Washers, dishwashers, stove. But nevertheless, we love this eye. At least we've got one big eye that actually heats normally, not high and burn. $17.95. I should have kept that daggone pot.
That's all right. We've got a cast iron Dutch oven we could use on there if we need a pot.
True. All right. Mattel Magic Nursery doll. you know, I either picked it up at the bins, or I know one time I was at a church sale and I bought several of these. It could have been from back then. The SKU number is quite old, so it was listed for a while. It was one of the ones I dropped the price to $9.95, and it sold at the sale price, $8.96, making them gone. I probably should have bit my cheek. Probably should have taken the outfit off and just discarded the doll. Saint Bernard dog hand puppet sold for $13.45. Bread and butter, y'all. Bread and butter. But I had a few really nice sales. Needlepoint Christmas stocking. 'Tis the season, right? Sold for $15. American Girl doll from 2013. I don't know why I didn't put freckles in the listing, because she's obviously got freckles. Nevertheless, she sold for $49.99. I find a lot of American Girl dolls at the bins. American Eagle women's corduroy cargo pants sold for $19.99. Natural Wonders Flop-A-Lots Lion. Again, another really, really old listing. I had done end and sell similar, and it sold without the sale. $9.95. Plastic Indian cowboy figure with horse lot. I think at some point I found a bunch of plastic figures, and these were different, so I just kept them separate, and they sold for $12. Kelly Toy, probably not a brand I'm going to pick up very often anymore. This has been listed more than 3 or 4 years and finally sold $8.96. But it's moving, y'all. They're moving. Ingenuity just listed this, and it sold in about 2 days. An elephant plush with some stripes sold for $35.95. This was a nice find. I actually picked up 2 of these, but one of them had a hole in it, and I'm just not confident in my sewing skills to repair a knit plush with a hole in it. So I do think it went out with my last donation stuff. I had paid $3 each for them at I think it was a church sale. And I ended up selling this blah blah knit cat, huge, 42 inches tall, for $70. And it was smoochy enough that it was going to fit in the 12-12 tin box. All right, Squishables. That is a brand I like picking up, but I don't find them very often. Some of them are typical, normal bread and butter stuff, but I have sold some for quite a bit. This was a Kitsune Fox, and it sold for $22.45. This may have been in the lot of vintage little people that I picked up recently at the thrift store. I have sold quite a bit of it already, and I think I just got around to finishing it, except for a few figures. This farm silo definitely had some damage to the stickers on the side. Sold very quickly though, about a week, $10.50. Mattel, Barbie, baby, infant, toddler. Oh, I have a capital I there. That just looks odd. Girl, doll lot. It was just kind of a hodgepodge. I decided to put these 4 together. Comparable size, but I think some are Barbie and some are something else. Nevertheless, they sold for $14. Lyman Reloading Handbook. Guess who bought that at an estate sale? 49th edition. It took a little while to sell. I ended up taking an offer of $14 for it. Angry Birds, y'all. I have been making lots of lots. Anytime I find something in this pile, I automatically go to my store, see if I've got something comparable to go with it. And that's kind of how this all came together. I had some listed. I take down all those listings, make lots. And this set sold for $35.95. Babies R Us little ring grabber type plush sold for $8.96. Build-A-Bear little furry pink cat. I had one of these listed for quite a while. I was doing comps after I had taken pictures of the other one and realized I had one listed. I just decided to put the two of them together, and they sold in about 2 weeks for $10.
For a $10 offer.
Yes, for a $10 offer.
Which is what we need to talk about.
Yes, we sure do.
We got some craziness going on with offers.
And we've seen it personally.
I had an offer, it's been several days ago, on a pair of jeans. I want to say they were $17.
Something like that.
Something like 17. And I got a $13 offer, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I hit accept, but it was one of those floating offers where I can accept other offers along the way. I was like, yeah, whatever. Maybe somebody come along and pay before they do. Either way, I got $13 coming. I went back to where the offers are on the phone app and refreshed it just to make sure all the offers were gone. I hadn't missed any. There was an offer for a pair of jeans, and when I looked, it's the same pair of jeans, but it's a $15 offer. And I thought, well, let me get this one in. I'll accept that one and get 15 instead of 13 because this one said it's going to accept it immediately.
Right.
And I was like, oh, they'll process, because some of them say they're going to process the payment immediately. And this one said it, and I hit accept on the 15, and when it popped up, it said the offer price was $126. And I thought, whoa, this is kind of weird. And I was just in the driveway getting ready to take off when this was going on. So I was like, well, that was a glitch. So I went back and I did it like 2 or 3 more times, and I kept getting the same thing. And when I looked at my original $13 offer that I accepted, I believe that offer, it said the buy it now price was $126 on the $13, which was weird, you know, that the price wasn't my 17, it was $126. And then I'm trying to accept the 15, and when I go to accept it, the offer is $126. So I had called Rebel and said, you got to look at this. I'm not going to try this on my phone. And you couldn't get it to do anything right on your phone. And then when I looked at it, I got to where I was going. I don't even remember where that was at this point.
Probably the post office.
Probably the post office. And the person had paid for the $13 one. It was just weird.
My friend Beth just sent me a picture of something she had listed for like $17.95. She showed me the screen that says, you know, she got an offer of 15. When she went to accept the offer, and, you know, it pulls up the next screen, it was a $3 offer, not the 15 that was showing from the previous screen. So be careful. I need to pay attention to, because I don't know, you know, I see the first screen, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and accept it. I just, you know, click, and it's done. So be careful. That's just, you know, one thing is you think glitchy. 2 things, you start wondering what's going on. Why all of a sudden is it showing a $3 offer? Nobody's going to take a $3 offer on something that's listed for 17. But if she hadn't have been paying attention, you know, what would have happened?
And if she hit accept, would it have accepted the $3 or the $15?
I know.
Which is there just a display problem on it's just displaying the 3, but it's actually going to process it at 15? We don't know.
Nope,
I wouldn't accept it. I do have a question about offers, though.
What?
It always seemed to me, and maybe I just didn't pay enough attention. We've got something listed for 20. It's on a 10% sale. So it's $18.
Right.
And I send somebody an offer of 15.
Right.
Right. I send them an offer of $15. I thought it used to show me that the offer was off of the sale price. So it's on sale for 18. I'm sending a 15. So that's 3 off of 18, 16. So it's like a 16% off offer.
Right.
It seems like it's showing me 25% off now because it's showing
from the original price.
It's off the listed price, not the sale price.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that too.
But it's changed, right?
I think so.
Like in the last, I don't know how long, but I noticed it like 2 or 3 days ago, I think is when I noticed it.
I don't know. Be careful with your offers. I think this next 2 are from one buyer. Again, this is more of that. This one was from the vintage Little People stuff that I just purchased. This was a green bathtub cart. I'm wanting to say maybe this went to the circus, like the clowns were in this, but I can't remember for sure. I took a best offer of $8 on this item. And then she also purchased the Little People brown dining room table and 2 chairs for $9. All right, Build-A-Bear small fries. I like finding them and picking them up. I think I just listed another one just this morning. But this was the White Hearts Pink Bear, and it sold for $15. Tie Go Diego Baby Jaguar. I tend to pick up a lot of the character ties, Backyardigans, Blues Clues. They don't sell for a whole lot, but I try to make lots with them. This one I did not have any others to go with it. It would have been nice to have Diego or even Adora with this, and it sold for $8.96.
So I have a post on Facebook to mention here. This supposedly comes from Salvation Army Adult Rehab Centers. And this is from Thrifting Treasure. I assume it's a page on Facebook. And they put somewhere in the back, a worker just spotted your next flip and said, "Not today, reseller."
I saw that post.
And it says that these are the things I got to pull for the e-commerce department. Musical instruments, Legos, trains, comic books, action figures. That's that one. I'm not going to go through all this, but
video games,
antique and Bibles and stuff. Video games, electronics,
metal vintage toys,
clothing, Lululemon, Patagonia, North Face, and a bunch of others. All these they've got brands of different things they set up. Like there were UGG boots, like in shoes. UGGs were one of the one that if you're sorting and you come across any of these specific items or brands, they go into a pile for the e-commerce department to review, and then they might set them out on the floor, I guess, if they're not worth being flipping online. Now, this is me being a reseller, is I understand what they're doing.
They need to make more money.
They're trying to make as much money as they can for the charity that they're working for. That is their job, and by all means, they should be doing it. As a reseller, it just makes me a little sad because that means fewer of those things are going to be out on the shelf for us to be getting. And they're raising their prices up to crazy stuff. $8, $9, $10 for Faded Glory jeans at a thrift store. No, we can't do that. I mean, I don't buy Faded Glory anyway, unless I'm trying to...
Vintage cargos, maybe.
Cargos, if they're carpenter jeans, I've bought that. They sell okay for us. But I'm not going to...
Not for $9.
Not for $9. And that's what some of our thrift stores are like around here. So we're not getting the good stuff anymore. And the not so good stuff is going for crazy prices.
Yeah, I've been watching Shop Goodwill. Somebody... I saw a post or something where somebody got a really good find on there. So I've been going in there, and that's what I see. I see the American Girl dolls. I see Legos, vintage, characters, action figures, that type of stuff. So, a lot of that stuff that's getting donated is just going straight into Shop Goodwill. But I'm assuming their shipping just seems to be awful. I've seen a few things I would have liked to have bought, some of it, of course, for the wall, but not at their shipping prices. It just makes it not doable. All right, next thing that sold, Animal Alley Brown Labrador Dog, sold for $17.95. Peppa Pig figures, that's what I've been working on this week, is small lots. The Peppa Pigs and Sesame Street and just tons and tons of stuff like that. I need to steer clear of Peppa Pig. They just don't seem to sell very quickly anymore. And this lot sold for $13.45. Yes, I probably paid $1 for all of them if they were Ben's pickups. So, I mean, still a good profit, but it just takes forever. Flavorite stainless steel pot sold in about 5 months, $25.95. We're pretty much staying clear of that type of stuff these days at estate sales. MB Daniels vintage ashtray, made in Japan, sold for $20. Learning Curve Thomas Take-Along Tracks. This was a large lot. I can't remember where I picked it up. I think it was a Ben's pickup. They were all still in a single bag. I love when I can just grab them all at once. And these sold for $44.96. Probably have about $4 in them. Cloud Bee Dreamy Huggins dog plush. There's a whole series of different animals in that series. They have the little stars on them. This one, the dog doesn't sell for as much as some of the others, but I'm not remembering. Maybe it was a rabbit, maybe it was something else that sells for a whole lot more. This sold for $17.95. Russ Honeydew Bear Plush. Seeing the bears move makes me happy. $13.45. Disney Scentsy Buddy Clip-On Plush. I'm trying to move away from Scentsies in general, but I probably would still pick up the little clip-ons, especially when they're the Disney ones. This was Timon and Nemo, and they sold in about a month for $10.49. Oshkosh B'gosh Plush. This is one of those I'll probably continue to pick up. I like them. This one was from 2000, sold for $19.95. Jellycat Coco Angora Bear Plush sold for $24. Y'all, look, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I came across this item for $22. Buy it now. Not even an auction. And I kept thinking, what is wrong with this? So, I looked through all of his stuff. The box was scrunched. That was it. The box was scrunched on one side. So I bought it. All in, I paid right at $40 for this. When I got it, he had packed it just in a bubble mail. Yeah, like a bubble mailer. Maybe wrapped in bubbles and then in a poly bag. Not the way you ship an item that's boxed. Nevertheless, it wasn't any more damaged, I didn't think. I had bought it initially. I was going to replace the one that's on my wall. I like this color better. It's the pastel pinks and blues and yellows. And it was in its box. I thought, oh, that'll be perfect for my wall. Not when I went and looked at the solds. Nope. Nopey nope. I think there was a recent sold on product research for like $175 in the box. So that's what I did. I listed it really, really high. Wishful thinking, hoping. And I got immediately like a $120 offer, $175 offer. And then I got this one, the $199. I had to do it. When it's more than the last time it sold on product research, you got to do it. And I took it $199, so 40 into $199. I don't usually shop on eBay to resell on eBay, but that was just one I couldn't pass it up. I wished I could have kept it, but no. If it had only been worth $50 or $60, fine. But no, not for $200. All right, Circo Target Blue Dog Plush sold for $31.45. Lumistella Company, and this was an elf girl doll plush. Don't call them elf on a shelf or anything like that. If you know for a fact that it is not elf on a shelf, don't do it. They take listings down very quickly. This sold for $17.95. Another one of my lots. I think I had the Vampirina doll listed, and then I found the cat and the other doll, or vice versa. One of them. I don't remember. But I changed it in September to a lot, and it sold at the end of October. $23.50. Ron Bonifato, Hermie the Hermit Crab. I don't like them. And it sold for $9.50. Something different. Mattel Barbie Baby from 1973. It had the cute little bottle and rattle. cute little outfit. Just decided not to group it with any other dolls, and it sold for $16.95. Original Tie, yeah, that was the brand, TY Wear, blue denim dress, sold for $20. Animal Adventure Black Dog, sold for $13.45. Yours Truly, 3 little girls and boys ornament kit. Y'all, this one gave us a little bit of consternation because
Rebel's a ding-a-ling.
I don't know how it started, but I had my A and B baskets backwards on the shelves. And since Robert's been doing most of the shipping, he moves the baskets so that A is on the left and B is on the right. And he had done that. Well, this had fallen out of the basket and was leaning in the left behind that basket when the basket that it should have been was on the right. He didn't find it. We went searching up and down and all around. I only have one basket of like crafts and stuff like that. So I just couldn't figure it out. But finally I realized when I pulled the other basket forward that it was up against the back of the wall. So finally, yes, that's what you get for moving baskets.
Y'all, I have a theory on why she did it that way, but which makes sense, like barely. Barely. It still should have gone the other way.
It worked for me for years. Didn't confuse me at all.
I would find myself looking in the wrong basket because I go to look at, 10-3A and I grab this one and I'm digging through it like, oh, I'm sorry. B's on the left for some reason. I guess we're reading Hebrew or Arabic or something. I don't know.
Oops. He's fixing them, but not even all of them. That's what's the problem. You go in there and some shelves are still the way that I had them and some shelves you've moved.
Just trying to keep you on your toes.
Mm-hmm. Mech Warrior 2 Official Strategy Guide. That must have been a U pickup. Sold for $19.95. And last but not least, American Girl Little Husky and Silky Dog Plush Slot. Sold for $16.16. And then Robert's store. Want to talk about your store?
So Rebel made me change it to flat rate shipping.
No, Rebel did not. Rebel argued the point
Argued
to
the
not.
point. But I gave it a whirl. Because supposedly if you're on calculated shipping, your listings don't show up very well on Google searches. So I changed it all to flat rate, except for the things that were like purses and shoes and stuff. And after a week or two, I can't remember how long, a week or two, somewhere in there, sales were like still like
0 days.
Yeah, like one every 3 days or something like that, every other day, every 3 days. And they still were not visible on Google searches, even after a couple weeks. So I went in, I did a bulk update. It was easier because I could bulk update back to calculated.
Easy peasy.
Easy, because you just flip everything to calculated, problem solved. I could not do that going to flat rate because I needed to check each listing to see, does this need to be 12-ounce flat rate? Does it need to be a 3-pound flat rate or a 2-pound? I had to do that. So it was much easier going back. We probably still have a few that...
There's 7.
That have outstanding offers and stuff. And I go in and look every now and then to see if I can change them. And she changes them sometimes when she's in there.
Today.
And sales were still flatlined except for this weekend. After about 4, 5, 6 days of doing like one every other day or something, it is now back to, where are we at, 5?
5
I think
for the weekend.
We did not ship Saturday. This is Sunday. So it'll be a 3 days worth of shipping when we get to Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday's worth of shipping. And we're already at 5. So, a couple a day at that point.
Yep, better.
So hopefully we get back to this in 2, 3, 4, 5 a day would be really nice. But I think that's a lot to expect from that store based on what we have in there at this point. But having something every day will be nice.
Yes. All right, first thing that sold in there that 4-day period was these Wrangler high-rise trouser women's jeans, sold for $26. Tropico black sleeveless dress with embroidered fish, sold for $17.71. Funny, I guess, it's warm somewhere in the world, right? Because right now we're about to hit like Arctic weather here in Tennessee. Arctic.
She means it might snow a quarter inch.
It's going to be in the 30s. High. American Greetings men's jacket. Sold for $26.71. We still have an American Greetings factory here in our town. So I don't know if this was vintage or new.
It seemed kind of old, but
It seemed old. Polo, jeans, Ralph Lauren, sweater shirt sold for $37. Can women's flared jeans sold for $13. I thought they should do better than that, but nope. And then this Daniel Bishop Argyle V-neck sweater sold for $22.21. Crazy days of eBay. Crazy days. Anybody else contemplating just giving it up on the other platforms? I'm so there. I'll let him keep doing his if he wants to, but you know, we're stuck on Mercari. I don't know how long you get held in throttles jail there, because the only time anytime I can get below 100 because it's sold somewhere else and I'm taking it off that platform, but it will not let me past 100 listings, and we ain't sold one daggone thing there.
one more thing before we go. So we bought a new door to go on our back. French door. It's going to be all fancy. And they installed it, and they dropped it, and it wouldn't shut right. I mean, it shuts, but you got to push it in a little extra. So we told Lowe's. They contacted the company. They're going to reinstall it. So a week ago on Friday, this is Sunday, so a week ago on Friday, they brought the new door, dropped it off. We covered it up with a tarp to keep it safe and protected. And then a couple of days ago on this past Friday, the guy showed up to deliver it
To install it.
To install it, yes. And we uncovered it, and he looked at it and he said, that ain't right, because it's already, the door's not flush back the way it should be. And he says, even if you want me to install this, I'm not going to do it because your door's not going to shut right. So we're waiting until Monday for the installing company to get back to the Lowe's to get a new door ordered, so that we'll get a new door delivered at some point, hopefully in the next week. And then we'll wait another week to get it installed. Hopefully, we tried to we went to Lowe's and looked to see, okay, do they have another brand of door? They don't. Not for the French doors that we want on the back. They don't. They sell one brand.
Inside. I love that idea. The blinds inside, you don't have to dust. You can peek out at the deer.
It's been a fiasco, y'all.
Fiasco.
I'm about to just take it down and put a piece of plywood over it and use a basement door all the time.
Yeah, tell them, give us our money back. No. I need a door. I need a pretty door. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Get to work. Bye.